You graduated with honors, Dagda. I can see it. So nice little pinch up there. Further to your point for WE. Bottom lane rounds out a little bit less than they'd like. Rakan gets picked up. All right, so Kedaya, this has been a thing. Xing has been a big jinx, a big Aphelios player. He's just stuck to the meta here. So they go jungle instead, and I guess we're just going to wait and see if they want it in the first rotation. Oh, sorry.
Hey, if we're looking at day of upsets, though, Kedaya's Rakan is definitely something that causes it.
That's
like
true.
61% ban against WE. Like, this is a big pick for the WE support. I'm really excited to see what he can do. Beishang with a strong jungler, strong skirmish jungler as well, means that they're going to have a lot of control in this jungle matchup, especially if Wei going towards the Hecarim. It's going to be looking to see if, hey, look, maybe I can try and power farm this level 6. So WE with a bit of wiggle room, it looks like, at least for the moment in the early stages, and maybe they can try and get this early lead over RNG.
But RNG right now feeling like they got to pick up their mid lane. Vex second most played here for Xiaohu. Corki was it, but we know 12.4 has sent LPL off the deep end of Corki's completely. No Oriata to pair up with the Hecarim Dagda. A little bit sad, but I'm not sad that we do get a Vex once again. Now, walk me through WE, because bot lane, it's like, all right, we need a strong 2v2, and they had nothing left.
Yeah, I like the Xayah here because it gives you a lot of control and zone control mostly in these fights. Like, Feathers being down all over the place makes it a little bit tough for someone like Aphelios to try and operate, because you've always got to worry about being stunned or locked up. It's also a good amount of self-peel from both the Vex and the Hecarim, because RNG, you're definitely going to be looking at this more dive-orientated composition. So for WE having this kind of self-peel AD carry, it's going to work out really well for you. Wouldn't be surprised to see if, as we started to move forward, like you end up with things like the Oriana, or even if you wanted to, the Twisted Fate potentially for Xiye here, just to be like, okay, cool, maybe we go towards like a Camille on the top side, we try to play sides, make it a little bit uncomfortable for RNG to try and play that out. It looks like RNG kind of agreeing here as they ban away the Galio. They just don't want Xiye to be on things that can like play sides or have that big counter dive factor.
I mean, that's a couple of bans already towards Xiye. The Rise banned away from WE, of course, but I like, by WE, I should say, I like that the LeBlanc is banned by RNG straight away. Like, Xiaohu's not going up against that. Xie's LeBlanc was notorious in the LPL back in 2017 especially, and even previous years to this. But for WE Dagda, I want to point out that once upon a time, Xayah Rakan trended love heart in the chat. And we've kind of moved on from that stage. So we get a lovers duo lane in the bottom lane. They have their pet bear, but they've been denied a lot of that collapsibility.
I want more love. I want this. I want the Ahri. I think Ahri works perfect.
Oh, Ahri's love. Yeah.
Yeah, I think having that little bit of charm factor in the mid lane, like good peel tool, good self peel. You've got the charm to try and help you out, but BiuBiu is actually just going to take away this Gnar. So maybe trying to keep themselves under wraps as to what they want to do, but also taking away that's kind of safe blind pick for Bin. But I mean, now you know what you're up against as Bin. The world's your oyster. Like, you can kind of go towards whatever you want.
You're going to take up in that top side. Flex into Garrett. Let's just hold off for a little bit. Irelia,
let's
still
go.
Just as exciting for Ben. A high volatility top laner, just what the Dr. Dagda ordered.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see the Gnar kind of lock in, because you do give this counter pick for Bin, especially Bin who likes to play it through side lanes. This now gives you a really good opportunity to like punish the Gnar matchup, and feeds into this kind of backline dive tool that RNG are going for with their composition. So really nice pickup for RNG. And I think for WE, I mean, you could have just taken this Ahri already, and then if the Gnar end up getting locked in, you know, BiuBiu can always fall back towards things like the Gragas. I mean, these kind of things that can actually do relatively well. Even the Kennen can do relatively well against the Gnar in that top match.
So walk me through WE, because we did get your love that you were asking for. I think Rakan, does Rakan have a tail? I don't think so. But there's a lot of feathers, a lot of
animal kingdom.
It is an animal kingdom, isn't it? It's like evolved. We started as the Gnar. We went to the bear. We then grew tails. And then we came and start walking upright as humans. Like, we had the evolutionary tree for WE.
Yeah, the Vestaya beside their old counterparts, you know, it's kind of all cute and cuddly on WE side, but it's anything but that when you get towards team fights, right? Because you've got a ton of self-peel tools in both Xiye and Xing with the Ahri and the Xayah, so you're going to be just looking to make sure that you're going to be totally fine. You got really good engage tools in Kedaya to kind of follow up on the engage that's going to come through from the Gnar. So I really like the team fighting composition that WE have gone for, but it's just also kind of the wiggle room it gives them in fights to, you know, bypass the initial brunt that is going to come from RNG with the Hecarim, with the Vex. So WE, I feel like have kind of set themselves up nicely to absorb a lot of the early pressure, the team fight pressure from RNG. And when you get to the early stages, stronger mid jungle, potential to roam, maybe look towards BiuBiu or even look towards this bot lane to set up for dives. I think you've got options here.
I think you do, and we want to see Xiye a bit unlocked here. Xiye versus Xiaohu, two mid laners with a lot of respect in the LPL. If you're an old school fan, you know that Xiye was one of the best once upon a time. Xiaohu taking the mantle, of course, because his recent form has been great. He's won MSI as a top laner and a mid laner. I saw some Teemo thumbs up there as we enter Xi'an's Rift. WE versus RNG. It's all about helping lock in that top 6, that top 4 for RNG. It's a very big deal considering we just saw Top Esports lose to Invictus Gaming. Now RNG have a window. Even with Weibo Gaming losing earlier, it's all lined up for success.
We'll have to see if WE can do a lot of this. For me, again, comes down to the mid jungle. Not even just from the conversation we had, but with the composition we have from WE. If they can get Xiye control of this mid with Beishang, you get the opportunity to roam top, shut down Bin's aggression. Because this is the only way you win this matchup as Bin, is by going like just absolutely nuts. Going super aggressive, dashing into the back line, using that to set up for stuns onto BiuBiu. So it makes it very easy to punish if Bin is trying to play that aggressive style. So WE will keep our eyes on Xiye and see if he can get that ball.
So as we get into the Rift, I want to point out outside of Xiye, electrocuted on the Ahri, by the way, versus the same here on the Vex. I want to point out that Xing down on the bottom side, we are seeing the Ahri once again. The poke Xayah, I should say, Dagda. Bit of lethality about to come out.
And I really like this, both for, this is kind of the standard build that we're seeing for the Xayah at the moment, but this build relies a lot on the feather damage. And when you... Oh, hang on.
Yeah, that's not a good start here for Kedaya. He's just poked to death. And Xing has to run away as well. As he walks back in, Gala and Ming are just playing with them. Half HP. There goes your pots. At least you got 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the first abilities here for Xing and Kedaya. The Q for Xing is a little bit unusual. Like when you got the Xayah Rakan, you tend to start W because the double attack speed that Xing gets off the W also applies to Rakan. So you just end up with a bunch of damage you can apply early. But in this matchup against Ming, I think the Tahm Kench is just super strong level 1, so not able to get that bully. So instead, they're trying to play a little bit back, but still Ming pushing up. But now Beishang, we wanted to see plays mid.
Yeah, he is. Electrocute's come out. Xiaohu might have to burn the flash. Running away from the Sky Splitter ain't in time. Charm comes down, and it's too late. First blood over to WE, and Beishang playing to the strength.
Xiaohu just being greedy with the flash, didn't get that crash early. Beishang with that quick clear is able to just go for that transitional gank, and now finds a bear.
The zoo part 2. Yeah, horse versus bear. Now, I watched a little bit of David Attenborough in my time, Dagda. I never saw the matchup. I think IRL, the bear would kind of win, but you're going to have to give me a bit more insight.
Yeah, massively. It's not even close. Press the attack Volibear against the Hecarim. He's like, ways wishing that helicopter actually existed to get him out of there, help him escape, because Beishang would tear him asunder. Honestly, like, out of all the junglers we have, Volibear is one of the strongest one-on-one solos that you have. Like, the shield, the outright damage, the stuns, and the extra healing he can get off his W means that it's nigh on impossible to kill a Volibear if you're just one-on-one in the early stages. So, Wei rightfully kind of backing off quickly, but Beishang kind of doing the same because he wasn't sure where Xiaohu was, so he's going to move back. Beishang spot on the ward here. May not matter, though.
Nice ward, and good dodge from the Charm as well. Beishang just walking up, pressuring the wave. Wei nowhere nearby, so Xiaohu has to pivot backwards. While it is the Scuttle Crab on the bottom side that's going to be played for, Wei got the one up and top, but a ward was placed in response. So level 4 for both junglers, about 3 seconds the difference between back timers, and early game has just been that early first blood. Xiaohu still has his summoners though, and we're gonna have to see Dagda where that transitions, because we talked a lot about Xiye here, and in the matchup you wanted to see him move around at 6 with the Spirit Rush, start getting to some of these side lanes and seeing what he can do.
Yeah, and I think that's at the moment still the game plan here for Beishang, for Xiye, which is why you can see Beishang playing so heavily towards the mid lane. RNG, though, are learning from the past mistakes, consistently getting vision control where they need it. That ward was just there to spot out that Beishang had in fact taken that Scuttle Crab River, so you are getting to track Beishang, and knowing that Beishang was on the bottom side, not clearing out his top side Krugs, means that Beishang coming off reset, RNG would know he's on bottom side. So again, RNG kind of feeding that information, seeing how they want to try and play around it, and Xiaohu did keep his flash off that first gang, so not going to be too vulnerable unless Xiye wants to commit a flash of his own to try and get on top of this race.
Full knock up here though, 2-man in fact. Ignite goes down, Kedaya rooted up with the Graviton, beautiful stuff. Ignite through, one more tongue lash, but Ming can't reach, and that's a summoner down in response. WE's bottom lane getting harassed.
Completely pushed out, and a nice job here from Gala and Ming, and again, we were kind of saying, you know, the Ming dynasty, this guy has been so good at commanding the lanes he's up against, and with that really smart double knock up there, there's just very little that Kedaya and Xing can try and turn it around. Gala getting pushed with his Burnham, he'll take the first turret plate, and without interaction coming through from Xiye and Beishang, they're not really going to get any sort of help for a while here.
No, they're not. They're on an island, and Xing and Kedaya low on the mana bar as well. Turret plating going to be taken here. Ming and Gala were talking them up, and champs like what they do, but I'm going to pause because now Xiye in a bit of trouble. The flash burned immediately. He pays the respect way with the summoner advantage, making down mid.
And that just makes this lane so much easier for Xiaohu. Doesn't have to worry about like a flash charm at any point in time to set up for Beishang coming in, but still Bin may need to be careful as Beishang is on this top side, but just going to sit here to allow BiuBiu to get a little bit of farm. But let's take stock of where we're at, right? Because I actually wanted to see Xiye moving a little bit earlier than the level 6.
Yep.
I wanted to see like that play in mid happen, push out, Xiye roams with Beishang up top, but we haven't really got that, and because of it, you know, Bin has good control of this top side. He's got a little bit of a CS lead for himself, and now coming back, working up towards that Blade of the Rune King. You're looking at bot side, Gala, sitting with a 300 gold lead thanks to turret plates and the CS advantage he has. So really for WE, they need to start getting that impact in side lanes because they are just losing out to the matchups and towards the drafting that RNG has managed to come through.
It feels like with ult, it's only going to get worse, right? As Beishang, well, he wants to do exactly what you want, Dagda. Open up Xiye a bit in this mid lane. Spirit Rush is available, but Ming's behind him. There's Beishang spotted out. Tongue Lash slows him down, and Xiaohu will stay safe. Ming to the rescue. This frog in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, Kedaya here as well, but a little bit late. Means that he won't be able to try and help out there. So Xiye will just back away. Ming, that was just a nice roam timing. Realizing, hey, look, I don't need to be in bot side right now. Gala's totally fine. So I'll just pop my hood into mid lane, make sure there's no funny business going on. And he catches the culprit red hand.
I mean, we've had really good support roams today, haven't we? It was game number 2, I think. Was it on? Oh, no, in the first series.
First series, I'm not going to lie. First series starts while I was asleep.
At what time, Dagda? What time?
That was at like 7 a.m.
Oh, that's not yeah. Gamer hours. Hey, I don't blame you, dude. You know, if I was in Ireland, would I be waking up at 7 a.m.? Well, if I had to cast, obviously. But you guys wake up at ungodly hours, and as a gamer, I don't think I've woken up before 7 o'clock for a couple of years.
If I have to do say like yesterday, where I have to do the first best of 3 of the day, it's at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that's what you want, isn't it? Bin, big lad in the top lane. Meanwhile, we're having this chat about getting up before 7 a.m. Bin wakes up at 3 a.m. to eat a can of tuna. That's how big he is at the moment. Double dagger at the top side, and that gives RNG a bit of priority around the Herald that spawned 30 seconds ago.
Bingo. Just getting a little bit of poke onto Ming and Gala as they start to make their way up. So, you know, at least from WE side, don't think they really want to try and contest this. Although, as I say that, Xing and Kedaya already starting to move up. And this is going to be a toughie. I feel like RNG, just with the control that they have over River, will have the advantage because they can just kind of pull the trigger first.
Depends on if Xiye gets the charm. The answer, no. Beishang now running away with the Sky Splitter. Xing and Kedaya, they want turret plating through the mid lane, and there's a lot of wave clear here on the lethality Xayah. But Dagda, RNG, they're already grouping up in front of the eye. Smite will come down, but Beishang in smiting range. It's taken here by Wei. He's knocked up twice, and the Hecarim with Onslaught of Shadows, but not going to use it out of the pit to get out the Stormbringer. Meanwhile, RNG have split them up. WE low. Bin with resets as well, but no vision. This is messy as hell. Dagda, I don't even know what the hell happened.
I mean, it's a 1-for-1, but RNG, I feel like they managed to get that return. I'll have to double check as we get the scoreboard up, but I agree. All over the place here. Xiaohu taking a fight on the bot side against Xing and Kedaya, where he's able to get the kill. It was Ming who gets the Rift Herald in all that chaos. And the fight as well on the top side, at least, kind of going a bit all over the joint. We'll get the replay here. So Kedaya will fall to Xiaohu on the bottom side of the map, or the fight. That's where I was keeping my eyes. But I have to try and look at what happened here in the top, because Wei just about able to get out, it looks like, with the onslaught of shadows. Couldn't get the follow over the wall from Beishang, which has been unfortunate. And then nobody on RNG kind of following over in time to catch out the members of WE. So very messy, but all said and done, a 1-for-1 with Rift Herald going the way of RNG. So we'll have to see if RNG will be able to try and use that to their advantage.
Because gold's dead even, and yeah, the Herald's going to have to build up on one of these members. Ult here for BiuBiu available. Would been like a meeting with the Rock. I think Beishang has got a better idea into the Bear's Claws. BiuBiu with his first kill, and WE back to the open up top.
Yeah, punishing the fact that Bin had flashed over the wall in that last fight to find nothing. It means that BiuBiu, when he gets that ult, able to set up beautifully for Beishang. This is what I wanted to see, kind of that pressure from WE. Problem is that the Rift Herald now has already been given over to RNG. It's a little too late, because RNG can now respond with plays for Gala.
Xiye coming down to hover as well. Gala getting the turret plating, you're right. It's going to be a big deal. RNG's bottom lane continue to bully out, but Wei going to be spotted on a ward. Xiye not hovering though, doesn't want to contest it for now. He's taking the long way around to the mid lane wave, and that means RNG get the first dragon as well. Gold might be even for now, Dagda, but it's still an objective game that RNG are winning out.
And the thing is, as this game starts to go on, Bane is going to become more and more of a nuisance. At least BiuBiu for the moment has done a really good job of getting this gold lead for himself, you know, getting that push in, getting some turret plates, all thanks to that gank from Beishang, so that'll help ease the pain. But when you get this Blade of the Rune King completed, when you start to look towards things like the Triforce for Bin, that's where you're really going to struggle here in this top lane. So WE kind of need to push the pace of the game further ahead to stop Bin from being able to just have control over the side, because WE want to group up. So finding these ways to maybe outnumber people at turrets, get some map control in your favor, start to play towards these dragons, that's what WE need to do so they can solidify themselves in this game.
So walk me through a bit more about RNG, because, you know, it was mentioned that some of the skirmishes here, like ultimates are really important, especially from Xiaohu, from Wei. There's a lot of all-in, a lot of dive, Dagda, and the side waves feel pretty easy to influence in the first, I guess, 15-20 minutes of the game.
And again, because Wei has now got the ultimate available, it becomes a bit easier for them to look for these skirmishes, look for these long-range engages, because Xiaohu able to join in fairly easy with the Shadow Surge, especially if Wei gets a big fear off, you can get that long-range combo coming across. Gala has full control bot side,
yeah,
which means that RNG can just keep playing that way. Like, you don't need to really push the envelope too much. Just get this bot lane turret, continue to settle through Gala, and Gala's now the other strong point on the map for RNG, where WE also need to shut him down. So you're kind of putting WE in a bit of a pinch with just how much gold Gala's managed to get.
Got himself a Gale Force. Note that the Eclipse actually picked up a Xing on the way to the Manamune as well. So despite our talk about Gala, Xing not in the worst position in the world despite what we've seen in the lane. Also, Xiye 20 CS up in the mid wave. The mid lane matchup will hyping up. Doing pretty well. Top lane, similar fashion. The only person that far down is bot, is jungle. Maybe I have to hold my words. Dagda, it could be top 2.
Like it way here.
Mega though.
Don't know where Xiye is.
Don't dive a Mega Gnar. I think diving a Mega Gnar always goes bad.
I think RNG just gonna back away. I mean, they don't know where Xiye is right now. They know that he reset, but he could be moving up towards this top side. As you said, Mega Gnar as well. Not going to be the best of calls, but BiuBiu still not confident, especially as Xiaohu gets that push in mid. He realizes that he's in trouble.
Oh, is he going to come back in? BiuBiu's thinking about it. He wants to throw a boomerang, and he gets Wei, and now he definitely knows. But Bin gets the pressure enough to hit him onto the turret. 3 turret plating taken for this top laner before it expires at this 14-minute mark. And for RNG, despite that, they're still behind in gold, Dagda. Like, I'm so surprised.
Yeah, I mean, they're just running out of, like, when it comes to the early fight, getting that kill is going the way. Oh, hang on.
We're
kind of back away. Like, the early fight going the way of Xiye, and that early gank also giving them some kills there. Xing being able to match with that gold as well. And again, like, the lane discrepancies of Shockmid and mid not helping either, plus the turret plates in top. WE trying to cross map, but RNG are already in position.
Remember that Licky Tongue has dives, so WE paying the respect and backing away. Going pretty deep with this invade onto the red buff. It's spotted out on a ward, but WE put so much priority and vision down here, Dagda. Tracking RNG really well, and in this game number 1, we have to give them props that this 2-11 team is playing with a lot of information. It's flash from BiuBiu. Wait, onto Bin. He's about to go Mega Gnar. BiuBiu wants this 1v1 as Bin's running for his life. He has a Vanguard's edge, though, as he backs away. It was BiuBiu who flashed very early on.
Yeah, trying to see if he could outplay Bin, but not going to be the case. WE, now with the ebb and flow of that mid priority, seeing if they can move bot side.
Gala with his ult back up and available. Both summoners there as well. The knock up, the dodge from the Gale Force. Kedaya dead. Ming eats him up. That was so clutch out of the 2v3.
That was nasty from the RNG bot lane. So well played. And not only do they shut down the WE priority play in the bot side, Bin, because he's now got control of that top lane, gets that top lane turret for himself. That was beautiful from RNG on all accounts.
And I mean, look, even at the top side, give you 6 around Vanguard's edge. Bin. But maybe he goes into the trash himself. Too deep, too hyphy. He felt it, Dagda, but BiuBiu laughs it off.
That's the sin bin. That was not the play. I mean, you just saw him go mega. He was so close to it. Just call it off. He didn't need to go that far, but we're going to get the pro view here for Gala in this bot lane, and this was gorgeous. These Beishang, Gale Force is out of the way, and even though he gets hit by the quickness, it doesn't matter. Ming is there to save him, but yeah, look how close the BiuBiu is to going Mega Gnar. Like, I don't know why you go for this.
He felt it.
Even the bone plating there to absorb a good amount of the initial damage, so yeah, Bin, this was not it.
It looked so good. It was so smooth until it was not a good play, Dagda. You know, I feel Bin. He's someone who will either hit 100 or 110, and then sometimes he realizes that 100 quickly becomes a 0. So unfortunate there. Yeah, he's some kind of tech. He's a strange one. Either way, RNG, I guess, a win out through the bottom side because they're now on top of the Herald. What's happening top? Horse runs and... Ooh! Friend! Nah, friend!
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. The Zootopia friends are not really having the best time here as Wei managed to get the kill. WE trying to respond on the spot side. And you have Ming and Bin here, though. Gala is holding mid, so... WE will get some damage down to this mid turret, bot lane turret, but won't be able to actually crack that one open. As Xiaohu is trying to do the exact same on the top lane.
Yeah, there's just like this massive fan across the map right now. Everyone in the same pathway as BiuBiu has a whole break. Look at his damage. This Gnar is about to get upset. Throws a boulder. What is it on that skin? It literally looks like a table.
I actually don't know. Couldn't see it properly.
Maybe it's a rock. I'm actually not 100% sure about that skin. Unfortunately, I think Dino Gnar, Astro Gnar are the 2 skins that are acceptable. Everything else.
Gentleman Gnar is pretty great.
Gentleman Gnar is pretty cool. If we're talking about the best gentlemen in the game, though, definitely the Cho'Gath skin. The English on it is pretty cool. Even the Chinese that I did not understand was pretty pog as well. I don't know what he was saying, but he was very, very up, you know, very, very happy about it.
I mean, that is just the way Jets would show. But coming back into this, this is, you know, starting to teeter in favor of RNG. And it's not like they're making any like massive plays, you know, there's no big team fights, but it's just the way RNG are playing them. Bin being able to control the top side does end up giving away a little bit with the kill, but he should still be relatively okay. Xiaohu now pushing in this top lane as well. They're starting to kind of creep in this slow vision control into the jungle of WE. And you can see WE have done a reasonable job of responding to it. A lot of pink boards on their side, but it does give up with river control, which they're now trying to get back. And that's what RNG are actually fighting for here, is control of river, so they can start to look at plays in towards this mid.
I mean, every time, WE still deep enough vision that they're spotting out the transitions from RNG through mid. We're A-ramming for a little bit. WE confident at the moment, knowing that Ahri's off on the wing, looking for that charm. Dragon coming up in 2:30. Baron in 50 seconds. And an A-ram to boot. Dagda, I've seen so many A-rams today. You know, I'm not sure if I should say, unfortunately, I watched the Golden Guardians, the 100 Thieves match, but definitely did. That was... Again, I mentioned the previous series, a bit of yakety sack through mid. for a long time. But at least this time we get a push. RNG have open mid with the Herald there, but WE are forcing the play in front of it. Xiaohu flashed away, Shadow Surge onto Kedaya, but the Gnar backwards. The Irelia Vanguard, they're just late from Bin, but he still goes in against everyone. The onslaught of Shadows, can they clean it up? It looks like it's up to Ben, but he's blown up. WE with the root back, a triple kill over to Xiye, but they've stolen it all. It was all perfect, set up by the Big Bear.
Day of upset is real. The setup from Beishang, the great Gnar ult from BiuBiu, and now with that timer, the Baron is up. And WE just like that are taking it to RNG.
I mean, RNG looked like they had this game building up to slow, momentous fun. And for WE, they come in with a big Gnar ulti, and we're all of a sudden back to the day of upsets. Baron going down pretty slow, but at 20 minutes, it's still going to be gone. For Tien's there, the teleport too late as well. Wei wants them on the way out, but he ain't got an ulti, and RNG lose it all in a matter of seconds.
But again, I don't understand the ARAM that you're kind of talking about here. Like, RNG play sides, then group, get the vision control. They were working well, but the second they group up, BiuBiu, phenomenal. That Gnar ult there sealed the deal, and Bin tries his best to go in. Gala has the Infernum, so I think the call is, hey, look, as long as they're grouped up together, you can maybe make something happen. But replay in the bottom left.
Hello, BiuBiu's found some more friends, and Bin's going to try and take him out, but the rest of the team are waiting. He's baited in. WE having so much fun. They might be out of playoffs, Dagda, but they're not out of tactics.
What is going on today? What is happening? We have a 5-kill Ahri with the Shadow Flame picked up in the mid. You've got the 2-item Muramana just dotted over for Xing. And they're about to kill Gala.
Okay, well, Gale falls forward into that, but remember the Feather Fly, the Feather Storm does enough damage. Trying to charge him down. Kedaya getting low. The quickness again. A bit of fear from Xing, but he's turning it around. Beishang off on the wing as BiuBiu now joins in. He might not have Mega Gnar, but he's got mega damage here with the Trinity Force. I love to see it. Dagda, WE up 3,000 gold, and this game's only just begun.
This game is going out of control here. RNG trying desperately to see if they can find picks, but look at your score lines. 1 and 4 for Bin. No longer in control of the sideline matchup with the Hullbreaker picked up. 1 and 4 on Xiaohu. We said this guy's the best. What's the name of that shot? Vex.
There you go.
Gwen. I was like, Gwen? Glenn? Are we back to this game again?
Amumu.
Yeah,
Amumu's wife.
time, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like Xiaohu has had no impact in this game. Beishang and Xiye have done a wonderful job of keeping him in check in these early stages. Now WE are reaping the benefits. Second Dragon going their way. Baron is in their favor. Unfortunately, doesn't look like they'll be able to crack too much open with the Baron, though. Maybe get this mid lane turret, but that will be the last outer turret for RNG.
WE are cracking them pretty fast. BiuBiu grouping up. Despite having the Hull Breaker, this is a 2-item Gnar, who, with the Trinity Force, is pretty scary within himself. Look at topside. Bin wants this as a trade, but it's a 2-fold trade from WE. Xiye having his own time. That's 600 gold in his back pocket, and he's already way too damn fed. WE now opening up the mid lane. Bin, we require your assistance at base. We're getting overrun.
Yeah. Oh, that's the engage.
Well, it's going to be over. Okay, Dagda, let's see how much further it goes. BiuBiu about to turn into an angry gorilla again, and WE get a pick off. In the flank is Wei, and look, Xiye, even in the base, he has to flash over the wall, but they're just going to open up the inhibitor turret.
It's not going to take the inhibitor, though. You don't want to try and contest that with RNG starting to respawn. They will just back away. Way on the flank, though. Might run into BiuBiu.
Yeah, again, angry gorilla Dagda. I'm not sure what animal Gnar is. What is he? I ask this every broadcast.
It's a prehistoric Yordle. So that's as far as I know.
So, nice. Wait, gotta get what you gotta get. I'm not sure if I called him Wei. I apologize. It's only the singular way today. So, dinosaur. So, he is actually a dinosaur.
As far as I know,
like
that kind of
like a stegosaurus
a dinosaur
kind of
Yordle.
Right. Yeah. Kind of wondering because again, we've got a lot of animals in League of Legends. I feel like League of Legends actually, and people are going to take this as a meme. I'm not talking about the players. The players aren't the animals, guys. I'm talking about the actual champions. Okay. We have too many animals in this game. And we keep adding more. Like Gwen's an animal. Yeah, he went for the punchline. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I will say Gwen is a bit of a beast to deal with, definitely, but I don't know. It just is like I'm kind of on the side of the fence with the people on Reddit where I'm like, I want to see some big ass monsters. I want to see just like you coming in as like this grotesque thing that's gonna go buck wild, just take over, like slap people around. But I don't know. We just don't get it. It's all like the pretty and handsome.
Yeah, dude, Seraphine. I mean, look, there's someone on a floating platform singing songs to charm people in. Sona doesn't even talk to anyone but you. There's outside of animals as well. We need more Cho'Gaths to the game. We need more Urgots. The people that are, you know, the most attractive in the game. Urgot number 1, Cho'Gath number 2.
Rek'Sai number 3.
Rek'Sai, very beautiful woman, number 3. I do say so myself. There's a lot of beauty in the game. Now, we are shooting banter because it's a 4K gold lead, but Dagda, remind our audience why this is so big for WE.
So for WE, I mean, this is just plain upset. It's about kind of trying to set yourselves up for a bit of pride and for summer. Like showing, hey, look, this is a team that we can try and work with. Let's see if we can do it. Xiaohu, though.
And a pick. Everfrost, everything landing. Xiaohu going to die here and an Orb of Deception to seal the deal. Char might be Zhonya, but Xiye is a smooth criminal this game. 9 out of 12 kill participation. He's got a Rabadons now, Dagda, and that's the Ahri and solo queue that you don't want to see.
And the Dark Seal on 10 stacks as well. Mage Eyes is going to be on the way. WE now sieging onto this top lane turret. This is going to be the last outer turret for WE to take from RNG's hands. Full vision control for the Baron that's up in 5 seconds. But WE want to take the base instead.
BiuBiu just sitting mid. The solo lane, remember the whole break are coming into full effect. WE is a 4-man stack, and those charms connecting means RNG damage, Xing's damage. Even preposterous at this point. It's a 3-item Serelda's Grudge Xayah. Xing pokes like hell. And WE now in front of another Baron. This will be the second one, Dagda. At 26 minutes, they got it right on spawn before. And this time it's going to go down faster.
And they can even just use this then to move over towards the Dragon as well. This third Dragon potential for WE. RNG trying to see if they can maybe get control over mid-wave to enable them to set up a Dragon, but I don't know if they will.
Giving over reward, Ming's there. Kedaya putting the go button into effect. Xiye with the Spirit Rush, and they're running fast. Knock up onto Tahm, Kench, and there you go. Ahri damage, disgusting. Even with the fear, the Shadow Surge, I don't know here. Xiaohu going on in, but Xiye disengages. Xing's ulti dodging away from Bins, and it's beautiful to see. RNG with no options, but WE giving them even less than that. Xiye with another double, and RNG, you are in trouble.
WE have the wave here. BiuBiu can tank it up. Just like that, WE. This was confidence. This was beautiful. And WE, they're going to take game number 1 as theirs.
I mean, I don't know what's with today in the day of upsets, and I don't know what's with LPL teams and becoming god tier when they're out of LPL playoffs. No pressure, no worries, and no game 1 given to RNG.
That was impeccable from WE. Playing through that game plan of trying to get the ball rolling through mid early. They shut down Xiaohu. Beishang starts to then play up towards topside like we talked about, putting Bin in the dirt. And then from that point forward, they're able to play through this really strong team fight that we'd already kind of set up. And again, like all the pieces came into place, right? BiuBiu with some phenomenal flanks. Xiye hitting the charms, predicting flashes with the Everfrost. He was on absolute fire. When we got into these fights, it just felt like RNG couldn't amount anything. We talked about Gala, despite his lead, kind of struggling to find ways to get into these fights between like charms and feathers and Gnar ultimates and everything else coming his way. So WE are just able to play such a strong early game into a brilliant mid game and take down RNG.
I mean, for RNG, I don't know if I have to say the same storyline. Second in the league right now, 10-3. WE are 16.
It's cursed. It's cursed.
We have 17 teams. WE are only just above TT. If they were to lose the series, they would be tied dead last. So apparently, WE can not only take a game off of V5 of top esports, they can do the same at the very least against RNG. Look at this, because it was clean, Dagda, from the first fight to the end.
And it was just a case of like slowly building on the win conditions that WE had. Like Beishang and Xiye playing well together. Being 100% going over aggressive in that top lane, like, gives BiuBiu a lot of recourse to come back into the game, but Beishang kind of again solidifying BiuBiu in that top side. And look, Xing and Kedaya were struggling on that bottom half, but when you have like 3 out of your 4 lanes that are kind of going well for you, you're going to be pretty alright. BiuBiu setting up wonderfully for Kedaya, like everything that we talked about, like how this team fight operates for WWE, they played it perfectly.
What more could you want? Beishang as well, hitting that element that we talked about a lot in 2020. Even last year as well. Like Beishang, one of the best junglers, and came so close to getting towards Worlds. I kind of felt sorry because I think Beishang was the top 3 last year, Dagda. Was it last year or 2020? Or was it
2021, yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
it could have been both, right? Beishang's been an elite tier for quite a while. And on a W roster that's kind of falling apart, it's nice to see here Xiye and Beishang working together. A very good sign of life, if only for Summer Split, but at the very least against RNG. Play an upset here today, Dagda. I love it.
And it does feel nice for Xiye, like coming back to WE after kind of like the prodigal son, and then working with Beishang. Like it was Shanks who was in that mid lane, but even with Beishang coming back in and thinking you'd have the synergy there, it just wasn't quite working with Beishang and Shanks. But Beishang and Xiye, I mean, we're seeing it now. Beating IG, playing through that mid jungle. Beating RNG, playing through that mid jungle. We'll have to see if they can do it for game 2.
They have upsets continuing to roll out. A game 1 over to WE. RNG striving to hit into a top 2. Continue in that top 2, I should say. But WE just won't let them, at least for now. We're going to go to a break, and when we return, see if RNG are going to take us all the way or if we